Hey everyone, Lauren Simons here. I'm going to run you through configuring your audio input and output on the EOS C700. The EOS C700 has two AES, EBU, or analog switchable XLR inputs that support microphone and line input levels, as well as phantom power. But despite only having two XLRs, we actually have 4 channels of audio being recorded at all time. So let's head into the menus and look at how to configure those. We're going to enter the Alt menu and hit the Audio key. Here, we can define our sources for each of our 4 audio channels. Let's jump into channel 1 and 2. If we select input terminals, that will send XLR1 to channel 1 and XLR2 to channel 2. If we select mic terminal, that will send the stereo 3.5mm mic plug located on the front panel of the camera to channels 1 and 2. And then, if we select monaural mic, that will send the onboard scratch mic to channel 1 and 2. I'm going to select my 2 XLRs for channel 1 and 2. Back in the previous menu, we can see that channel 1 is input 1 mic and channel 2 is input 2 mic. Now, let's set channel 3 and 4. We have all the same options here, but what I want to point out is that if I set channel 3 and 4 also to the input terminals, I will have the ability to take in those XLRs at a lower or even an automatic level as a safety track. I can recommend this for smaller crude gigs or where there isn't a dedicated sound operator. So now we can see all 4 channels are set to my XLR inputs. To set the record level, hit the rec level button and choose the first channel you'd like to adjust. Tapping the top center button allows you to cycle between automatic or manual. Once in manual, I can dial the audio in using the select dial and center pressing once I've landed where I like. I can do this for all channels individually. Going back, on the bottom row of the display, I have my 2 monitoring options. First, I have to choose how to monitor 4 channels of audio in a stereo headphone output. Again, this setting only affects the headphone output, choosing to mix 2 channels in each ear or monitoring only a specific channel. Once we decide, we also have a dedicated headphone volume control right next to it. Heading into the options menu reveals a whole slew of additional controls. What this first option allows you to do is if you're only working with a single XLR input, you can set that XLR input 1 to be recorded onto both channel 1 and channel 2, which prevents having a mono or single channel output. Additionally, you can adjust the levels separately to allow for a safety track. For the most part, this will probably be left on the input 2 option, as that allows for you to record from both XLR inputs. But it could be useful for some live productions where you need to capture and send a mono microphone out over stereo. Beneath here, you'll find all your trimming, attenuation, and limiter options for both the XLRs and the 3.5mm microphone jack. An ALC link for automatically controlled channels is also available, as well as the option to send out a 1 kHz tone with your color bars and at what level. Finally, going back and entering our audio output, we see here that we can define which 2 channels to send out over both HDMI and our raw SDI feed, as we cannot output all 4. The EOS C700 has a wide range of audio configuration tools to help any scale of production, everything from a large-scale dual-system sound configuration to a smaller single-camera documentary. And remember, if you have any questions, be sure to call us at 1-855-CINE-EOS.